Online gaming. For millions, it's an escape, right? A world of adventure, community, fun. But sometimes that line between the screen and, well, the real world, it doesn't just blur, it shatters. Tonight we're telling some stories, truly unsettling stories where online games led to real-world violence, even murder. These aren't just tales of losing a game. These are about real lives lost, real families devastated. We're going to look at how these things happen, these extreme cases, and maybe touch on the questions they raise about, our lives online. Okay, let's get into it.
It's chilling how deeply invested people can become. The emotions, the value placed on things that only exist digitally. Sometimes it spills over.
Yeah.
With terrible results.
Yeah, exactly. Our first story takes us to Shanghai. Back in 2004, there were these two guys, Zhu Quan and Chu Changgu, really into this big online game, Legend of Mir 3. Now, Changgu had something special, a dragon saber. This wasn't just like a standard item. It was incredibly rare, super powerful, took ages, maybe even real money to get.
A huge status symbol within the game, definitely.
All right, so Quan asks Changgu, hey, can I borrow the saber, to help him level up faster? Changgu trusts him, says yes, transfers it in the game. But Quan, turns out he had other ideas. He goes and sells this virtual sword online, gets 7,200 yuan for it, which was like nearly $900 back then.
Wow. Behind his friend's back.
Totally. So when Changgu finds out, asks for his sword back, the truth comes spilling out. He's furious, understandably. Quan offers to pay him the money back straight away. But Changgu, he doesn't want the money. He wants the sword. His sword. He feels betrayed, robbed. He wants justice.
But justice for a virtual item,
Yeah.
That's tricky territory legally.
Exactly. He actually tried to go to the police, said Quan stole from him. But the police, back in 2004, they were like, it's just data. There's no law against stealing a virtual sword. So no legal help. Changgu. He decides to take matters into his own hands. One night, he sneaks into Quan's apartment while he's asleep, and he stabs him multiple times in the chest, pierced his heart, his lungs. Quan was just 26 years old.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Changgu then turned himself in, got the death sentence, but with a 2-year reprieve. Usually means it gets knocked down to life in prison later.
It's staggering. It really highlights how much emotional, maybe even financial value people pour into these virtual things. And the law, at least back then, just hadn't caught up. It raises that whole massive question of what is property in the digital age?
It's a question that doesn't have easy answers. Let's shift now, though, to another case. This one is about rivalry. Clan rivalry in a game called Lineage 2. Popular in Russia, this happened around 2007. You had two groups, two clans, Platinum older players, and K-Clocks, mostly university students. Platinum didn't like how K-Clocks played, thought they were too aggressive, always ambushing people, player killing.
Yeah, ganking. It causes a lot of tension in those games.
Big time. So they set up this duel in the game. Albert, he's 33 from Platinum, against a 22-year-old from K-Clocks, supposed to settle things. But Albert loses the fight in the game. And he can't handle it. He's furious. He challenges the other guy to a real fight in the city of Ufa to prove which clan is really tougher.
Oh no, taken offline.
Exactly. And their clanmates are there, egging them on. They meet up, and the fist fight, it's brutal. Albert.
He dies from the injuries.
Unbelievable. Over a game dispute.
And get this, when the police arrested the 22-year-old who killed him, he apparently showed no remorse. Just calmly said Albert had to die. For the clan's honor, it gets worse. Even after Albert was dead, buried. Members of K-Clocks kept harassing his family online, threatening his sister Albina. She said something really chilling. She said, I think they have confused the game and reality. That's precisely it. It's a complete breakdown of boundaries. The emotions, the aggression tied to the virtual conflict just transferred directly into lethal physical violence. Anonymity online, group identity. It can really fuel this kind of thing, stripping away individual responsibility.
Makes you wonder how these online spaces shape us, right?
Yeah.
When does it go too far? So let's talk about addiction. This story comes from Vietnam, near Hanoi. Online gaming is huge there. Internet cafes packed with kids. We have a 13-year-old boy named Dan. He was completely hooked on World of Warcraft, the biggest MMO ever. But it costs money, right? Subscription fees. Dan was addicted, but he ran out of cash, couldn't afford to play.
And for someone truly addicted, that feeling of being locked out can be desperate.
Desperate is the word. He came up with a plan to steal money from an elderly woman nearby, my teammate, just enough for his YW subscription. And what he did, it's horrific. He took a rope, he strangled the woman to death. Then he stole just 100,000 dong. That's only about $5 or $6 US. He buried her body in a sand pile.
For $5?
For $5. He added to his savings, reactivated his game account. When they caught him, he admitted everything. Said he needed the money for the game. Because he was so young, 13, he was sent to a re-education camp, not prison.
This just lays bare the darkest side of addiction. When that compulsion, that need to play, becomes so overwhelming, it completely eclipses morality, basic humanity, leading to, well, to this kind of desperate, horrifying violence for almost nothing in return, especially concerning when it involves someone so young.
It really is. It makes you think about responsibility, how to help kids who get that lost in it. Okay, another one. Ohio, USA. A 16-year-old named Daniel Patrick. He was obsessed with Halo 3 on Xbox Live, playing online constantly. His dad, Mark, was a minister. Didn't approve of violent games, strictly forbade Daniel from having Halo 3.
A pretty common point of conflict between teens and parents regarding games.
Yeah, but Daniel went behind their backs.
Yeah.
Bought the game secretly. Started playing obsessively. We're talking up to 18 hours a day sometimes. Eventually, his parents found out. They confiscated the game, locked away in a cabinet. The problem was, his dad also kept a handgun in that same locked cabinet.
Oh, that's a dangerous combination.
It's terribly dangerous. Daniel knew where the key was. He later said he loved the game more than his controlling parents. He got the key. He took out the game and the pistol. That evening, he walks into the living room where his parents are relaxing. He says, "Would you close your eyes? I have a surprise for you." They did. And he shot them. Shot his father in the head. Shot his mother multiple times. Then he tried to stage it, make it look like his dad shot his mom and then himself, put the gun in his father's hand.
Calculated. Chillingly so.
Unbelievably. But then, minutes later, his sister and her boyfriend show up. They were expected. Daniel tries to send them away, says his parents are fighting, but they hear groaning. His father. Miraculously, he survived the headshot. Daniel's plan falls apart. His sister calls 911. Daniel grabs the Halo 3 game case and runs for the family van to escape. Police catch him quick. When they pull him out of the van, the game is right there on the passenger seat next to him. He got life in prison, parole possible after 23 years.
It's such a disturbing mix of things, isn't it? Teen rebellion, feeling controlled, maybe underlying issues, and then this intense fixation on the game. The game became the symbol of his defiance, the thing he valued most. It really forces you to consider how violent media might interact with someone already struggling or prone to aggression. It's not just the game itself, but what it represents in that person's mind.
The lines just completely vanished for him. Okay, one last story. And this one's about the danger of meeting people online. Predators. 2014, UK. A 14-year-old boy, Breck Bednar. He told his family he was going to a friend's house overnight, but really he traveled to meet Lewis Danes, who was 19. They'd met gaming online, chatted a lot on TeamSpeak. Breck thought they were good friends. Lewis had spun this whole story about having a successful computer business, promised Breck he could make loads of money working with him.
Grooming, essentially, building trust, making false promises.
Exactly. The business was fake. Lewis had other motives. The morning after Breck arrived at Lewis's flat, Lewis called the police. Said Breck had killed himself. But the police, they saw inconsistencies right away. The wounds didn't look self-inflicted, and they found electronics, like hard drives submerged in water. Looked like a cover-up.
Trying to destroy evidence.
Precisely. Lewis changed his story, claimed it was an accident, that he stabbed Breck trying to save him. But the truth was monstrous. He had used duct tape on Breck's wrists and ankles, tied him up. Then he cut the boy's throat with a knife. Later, it came out people had warned police about Lewis before, about his disturbing online behavior, trying to lure other kids. He got a minimum sentence of 25 years.
This is just a gut-wrenching example of online danger. Predators using shared interests like gaming to manipulate and harm. It highlights that false sense of intimacy that can build online, especially for young people who might not see the risks. It really underscores the need for digital safety, education, for parents being involved, for protecting kids online.
These stories, they're incredibly hard to hear. But they all share that terrifying theme, don't they? The virtual bleeding into the real, with absolutely devastating results. We've seen it driven by fights over game items, by intense clan loyalty, by the desperation of addiction, by family conflict, by outright predation. These are extreme examples, yes. But they force us, I think, to really look hard at how we engage with these digital worlds. What does it all mean for us?
What's clear is that dismissing these things as just a game is naive, even dangerous. These cases show the very real value, emotional, psychological, sometimes financial, that gets invested. They show the incredible grip these worlds can have, and they scream about the vital importance of maintaining that boundary, that distinction between online life and offline reality.
So, the question maybe we should leave you with is this. As our lives get more and more tangled up with the digital, how do you keep those lines clear? How do you make sure the game stays a game? And what do we need to do as a society to stop tragedies like these from happening again. Thank you for listening tonight, for diving into these dark stories with us. We know they're disturbing, but hopefully they offer something to think about regarding the worlds we inhabit, online and off. If you found this exploration compelling, if you appreciate these deeper dives into the unsettling, please show your support. Like this recording, share it with others who might be interested, and make sure you subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs. We'll be back soon with more stories from the shadows.